Hi yogis, so welcome to this class. Today we're gonna do 30 minutes of a yoga flow with blocks. So remember, this is a mindful self-care yoga. It's a name that I made up just to reflect the needs to adjust our practice based on how we feel. This is a way for me to teach you that there is no one size fits all kind of yoga. This is where you get to utilize your yoga practice and use it in a way that works for you based on the needs of your body, of your mind, and your energy on that specific day, on the specific time that you step on your yoga mat. So today I just want to play with blocks. I don't think we have done any flow where we are utilizing the blocks most of the time. So I'm going to give you a moment for you to grab your blocks. If you do not have blocks, I'll be honest, the practice is not going to be as nourishing or as fun, but feel free to grab anything that might mimic a block at home, or choose another class and come back to this one once you have some blocks. I'm going to leave in the comment section of this class. If you're looking to get some sustainable blocks, I can recommend some of that. So let's get our blocks. And we're going to start placing the blocks shoulder distance on the floor. And again, 30 minutes today, just for those moments that you don't have enough, a long time for a 60 or 90-minute practice or 75-minute practice. And all you want to do is just squeeze a little bit of time as you come back into your practice. So I'm going to move it this way so you don't get confused with the blocks I have on the wall. So we're going to come straight into our downward facing dog for a moment. So what you do in downward facing dog, go into the lower version of the blocks, place your palms in there, and then you're going to step back and bring your hand so the base of the wrist is at the edge of the block, and that's going to help you to activate also the fingertips and the knuckles. Settle your feet and give yourself permission here to feel your downward facing dog with a little bit of space on the shoulders and your palms. And this might feel weird, and so take a moment to adjust. And part of this practice is to break the habits of always going into sort of like autopilot when you come into your practice. And this is going to push you out of your comfort zone if you don't practice with blocks. So allow yourself to open to new sensations, new experience, and just kind of drop in expectation. We're going to stay here for one more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And then drop the knees in here. We're going to come into puppy pose. We're going to stretch our shoulders. So you can keep your toes tucked under hip distance, or you can press the top of your feet. You're going to walk the shoulder, the buhas a little further and maybe as wide as your mat. And as you do that, slide your hands into the blocks so you can drop the chest and release the forehead on the ground. Give yourself a moment here to spread the shoulder blades and just kind of breathing into this deep stretch of the shoulders. Press yourself through the feet and continue drawing the belly in. Settle your mind into becoming more aware of the moment without judgment. Almost like you're starting to learn a new language, which is body sensations. So you got to pay attention with kindness and curiosity. So then you can use that information to continue a nice conversation. Couple more breaths. Then press your palms into the blocks, lift the head, and place the blocks again a little wider than shoulders distance, just a little bit, and go back into your downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, rock forward into your plank. Now, maybe this plank feels a little easier, right? Because we're a little farther away from the floor. So take a moment here to engage your thigh bones. So the legs are lifting you up and the pelvis is not collapsing. You're actually drawing the belly in. Good. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Now look forward, bring your right foot forward between the blocks. And notice perhaps this become a little bit more accessible as the floor. It's a little bit away from you with the hands on the blocks. Drop the left heel slightly in, bend the front knee, and come into your warrior two here for a moment. Nice and slow. So I would like to review a little bit of the alignment, right? Of like the tendency to collapse on that front hip, so then the spine gets a little wonky. I want you to lift that front hip, level the pelvis, bend the front knee, and open it towards the left to the right corner of your mat. Now the back toes are slightly in, so you're not opening the toes out to the side, right? Because this is going to create a lot of weird sensations on the knees. So bring the toes forward slightly, so you're pressing through the back heel. Very good. Extend the arms out to the side and stay strong in your warrior two. And then look over to your right palm. Now, as you ground yourself through your toes spreading, heels, as you keep the legs strong, the core strong, the crown of the head is pressing you up. Take one more breath. Good, and then slowly extend the front leg. And we're going to reach that right arm up. As you do that, try to keep the pelvis in the center of the mat and release that bottom hand on your block, which you can adjust into a higher level next to your right leg on the outside. Once the bottom hand is resting on the block, allow your chest to open to the left and then reach that left hand up. So we're doing Trikonasana, triangle pose with the support of the block. And you can adjust that block height in such a way that you feel challenged. So notice that the stability of the legs are still the same. Bring some weight into the inner ankles on both feet. Continue relaxing that right shoulder away from the ears and rotate your chest a little bit more up to the sky. Spread your left fingertips in here so that top palm is activated. Good, take one more inhale. Now keep everything as it is, but keep bending the front knee back into that side angle. And you can move that bottom hand from the block to your thigh if that feels more comfortable, which allows you to open more the chest. That top hand, gonna bend the elbow, bring it behind your back and maybe grab that front thigh and bring that left shoulder back, squeeze shoulder blades and bend the front knee a little bit more. Breathing in, breathing out. Good, and then slowly release that back hand, press back into your plank. So once again, adjust your right block. So feel strong in here. Now open the chest forward as you come into your tippy toes. Keep the legs strong, nice and slow, bending the elbows. Find your Chaturanga Dandasana. And then as you inhale, open the chest for Cobra. Beautiful. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. And we're just going to do the same sequence on the other side. So take a couple breaths to settle the breath. Just breathing into that deep stretch that we just did on the right leg, lifting the seat bones a little higher up. And then as you exhale, bring your left foot forward between your blocks. And so coming to warrior two. Left foot forward, right heel drops in. Okay. I'm going to purposely give you my back so you can see the sequence on the other angle. Come all the way up into your warrior two. Give yourself here a moment to once again check the pelvis, right? Extending the arms out to the side, looking over to the left palm. Now, as you separate your toes, as you ground yourself through your feet, lengthen through the crown of the head and spread those fingers away from each other so your shoulders are energized. One inhale. Long exhale. Then slowly extend the front leg. Walk your left hand forward without moving anything on the legs. Then stand. Release that bottom hand on your block outside your left leg and find your Trikonasana triangle pose. So crown of the head towards the front of the mat, sacrum towards the back heel, pressing the pelvis slightly forward, rotating the chest away from the floor. Looking up or down, relaxing that left shoulder away from the ear. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. I'm gonna release the top hand behind you to grab the left thigh, bend the front knee, find your variation of side angle. You can keep that left hand down on the block and kind of move the block in such a way that supports the hand on the right position, or come into the forearm. Whichever variation you're doing, try to continue rotating the chest as you spread your legs wide so that front thigh continue opening towards the left. Keep bending the front knee. One more breath. And then exhale, release. Close that right hand down. Close the hips, sit back into your plank. Nice and slow, hands on the blocks. Feet together, nice and slow. Chaturanga as you exhale. Inhale, find your cobra. Actually, it's up dog, right? Because the legs are off the mat. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Breathing in. Breathing out. Good. Take an inhale, look forward. And then move the blocks on the center of the mat. Bring them together. And you're going to step on top of the blocks and allow yourself forward fold here. So please make sure you feel stable as you come into this variation. This is going to intensify the stretch of the head of the hamstring, the lower back. So make sure you're tilting the pelvis forward. Spread your toes, ground your foot into the block, and allow the head to drop here. Breathe in deeply. Breathing out. Bring your hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and bring the knuckles up. Shoulder stretch. Any variation of this pose is acceptable. If you need a strap, grab opposite elbows. Just let the head collapse here for a moment, softening any tension on the neck. Good, then release your hands down on the floor. We're gonna transition into crow pose. So adjust the ball of your foot on the center of the block and rise the heels, dropping the pelvis down and bring those knees on the upper arm. Settle your hands. And remember, you can keep the feet on the block. You don't have to go into the full flying crow. This is just a little playfulness. So belly draws in, shoulder blades apart, looking forward, shifting your weight into your hands, and just kind of playing here with your crow, right? You don't have to fly it fully, but just explore and enjoy the practice. Good. One more breath wherever you are. And then release. Come back into that forward fold, feet on the blocks. Inhale here. Now as you exhale, lengthen your spine halfway up. Good. Release the hands on the floor, bending the knees, step up the blocks, and bring the blocks right in front of you on a higher level. So now you're doing halfway up. Make sure your hips are above the feet. So you're doing an L shape in here. We're gonna do some standing balance. So kick your right leg back and keep your hands on the block. So warrior 3 with support. You got it. Take one more inhale. Now press your left hand on the block, open your right hip. Maybe you wanna open that right arm out to the side and continue rotating the chest to the right. Make sure your left big toe and the inner ankle of your left foot is grounding you too. You can keep the gaze down for extra stability. One more inhale. As you exhale, close that top hand, square the shoulders and hips back into that warrior three. And then release that foot down. Let's do that on the other side. Shift your weight into the right foot, spread your toes, kicking that left foot back, hands on the blocks. Make sure they are right under the shoulders to give you more stability. And then press your right palm into the block, open your chest to the left, stack your left hip, and reach your left arm up. That standing leg, right, your foot is so important that you ground yourself through it. So important that you spread that energy through your spine. So kicking through that left heel, crown of the head in the opposite direction. That bottom hand is an anchor for you to rotate the chest a little bit more to the left. One more breath in. And then slowly square your shoulders and hips back into warrior three. Inhale. And then exhale, release your feet down. Take a moment here, forward fold. You can continue resting your palms on the blocks. Breathe in, come into chair pose, arms forward. And then exhale, hands on the block again. Good. Place your blocks in such a way that you go back into downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. Let's do that same sequence again. Right leg forward, warrior two. Strong legs. Settle your mind. Continue opening the chest towards the left. Triangle pose, rest that right hand on the block, extending front leg, opening yourself here. Just make sure you're adjusting in such a way that it gives you support. Prevent that front knee for that variation of side angle. Hand on the block or on the thigh. Top hand bends back to grab the front thigh. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more breath. And slowly release back into plank. Nice and slow. Very good. Take your vinyasa if you like, or go into downward facing dog. Your choice, honoring where you are. Couple breaths in downward facing dog. Settle your palms in the block. This is helping you to use different muscles on your wrists, your forearms. So if it feels discomfort, and as long as not painful, bear with it. Let your mind fire new neuron paths. When we try new things, that's what the mind does. Expands and grow. Warrior two on the left side. When you're ready, left foot between the blocks, drop the right heel in, settle the legs, reach the crown up. Arms reaching in the opposite direction. Breathing in. Breathing out. Extend that front leg, prepare for triangle pose. Rest your bottom hand on the block. Notice where your mind goes and keep it into the breath. Meditative practice, using the body to anchor your awareness. A lot of sensations in this pose. Use your breath to relax your mind. Variation of side angle, top hand behind you, bending the front knee, find your shoulder binding, side angle here. Parsvakonasana here. If you want to add some strength of the neck, go ahead and look up and back. Otherwise, keep your gaze down or forward. 2 more breaths. And then slowly release when you're done. Back into that plank, using your blocks for extra space so you can use more strength of the legs and core. Take your vinyasa or downward facing dog. Full breath in. Walk your blocks and your feet in the middle of the mat. Step on top of your blocks. Same sequence, second side. Same sequence, second round. Drop yourself here, forward fold. Deep Uttanasana. You can hop your legs if you like. Just let it feel that stretch in a gentle way. Prepare yourself for crow. If you're going to explore that shifting of the way, remember that there is a series of how to crow. Check it out. If you're still not sure how to do, what to do, when you're ready, shift your weight into your hands. Keep the pelvis low. Big toes touch. Good. Come back. Uttanasana on your block, standing forward fold. Then slowly bend the knees, hand on the floor, step away from the blocks. Bring those blocks under the shoulders. Get ready for warrior 3 on the right side, kicking the right leg back, crown of the head forward. Now close your right hip and feel that other hip on the left side engage. Left hand on the block, open the right hip and open the right arm up. Chest open to the right. So make sure your left foot is grounding you here. One more breath. Close back into warrior 3, inhale. Minimize the arch of the lower back. Exhale, release, shift side. Weight into the right foot, kicking that left leg back. Warrior 3, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon on the left. Opening and stacking the hips. Opening the chest, stacking the shoulders. Find your center, find your ease. One more breath. Exhale, release. Back to warrior 3. And release that left foot down. Settle here, forward fold. Good. Now from here, place your blocks to do a fish pose, supported fish pose. So one block's gonna stay horizontally almost 1/4 of the mat towards the center, and the other block's gonna be a little higher for your head to rest. And we're gonna come all the way into the ground. I'm gonna sit in here, and that first block is gonna go into the middle, upper, lower back. That makes sense, right behind your chest. Make sure it feels comfortable. And the other block is gonna go for your head. And it happens that I coordinated the block perfectly. Usually I have to adjust, so feel free to adjust. Adjust the sides of the pelvis, lift it up if you need to. Keep the knees bent, open the arms out to the side. Allow yourself to hear, allow yourself so you can hear, rest the head and the upper back, and stretch the front of the pec and shoulders. You can rest the knees against each other. Close your eyes and settle the breath, settle your sensations. And just allow the breath to flow with more ease from the abdomen to your chest. And we're strengthening a little bit here your diaphragm. Any position with your arms. I'm gonna stay here for 3 more rounds of breath. One more inhale. Good, and then release the hands at your side. Press with the elbows into the floor, palms on the ground, and lift yourself up. And maybe bring your hands behind your thighs to pull yourself up. Very good. We're gonna do Paschimottanasana. Grab your blocks. I'm gonna give you 2 variations. One variation is to place the blocks between the calf. So when you forward fold, you can rest the forehead here. One variation for those of you who are open and on the flexibility of your hamstrings, you can bring that block outside your feet for extra stretch as you drop. And another variation is to sit on the block to minimize and to release tension that you might feel. Maybe your hamstrings are tight. So by sitting on the block, and as you come into forward fold, it minimizes tension. You can use that third block between the feet to squeeze in here. So choose your variation. We're gonna stay here for 3 rounds of breath. Just breathe in. Feel free to adjust as you get familiar with the blocks. One more breath. And then slowly come all the way up. Find your comfortable seated. We're gonna close the practice today with a little bit of mindful breathing. Again, using the block. If you wanna sit a little taller, it's always helpful. I love sitting on a block. If it's too hard, you can place a blanket on top of it. Good. Take a moment here. Rest your palms somewhere on your legs. Relax your gaze. I want you to imagine the number 5 in your head, and very gently you're gonna count up to 5 as you take your next inhale. Hold it at the very top, and then count up to 5 as you exhale. Gently and slowly. 2 more rounds like that, slowly counting up to 5, taking a small pause, and then slowly counting down up to 5 as you exhale. Nice. Bring your palms together, bowing the head. Just take this opportunity here to recognize how you feel after your practice and continue using this momentum to be your inspiration to continue showing up for your yoga practice. Moving the body, move the energy, releases tension, increases hormones that makes you feel more at balance, more at ease, more at peace, more happy. So no matter what's going on with you in your life, your challenges, I hope you find a class in here that adapts and adjusts to your need. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for practicing today. Thank you for prioritizing yourself today. Infinite gratitude and thank you for existing. Take a deep inhale. And please know that you are very much appreciated and you're very much loved in here. I wish you a fantastic rest of your day. Please let me know if you have any questions, any suggestions, anything you would like to practice, something specific. You can always reach out to me. Prioritize yourself. I'm here to support you for the yoga journey. So let's do it together. Thanks again.